fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, here we go! Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Welcome one, welcome all to SimSpeed TV this Wednesday night. Sorry, I am running off another script, but now we're going to get through into this event. It is the Pro Truck Showdown here at Crandon International Raceway. This is a special event in between seasons for the Pro Truck Showdown, and we get to do things a little bit differently for this league anyway. It's not so different for these vehicles. They're going back home to one of America's premier off-road racing venues. This 1 mile layout carries a whole lot of jumps, a whole lot of pitfalls, a whole lot of walls, and there's going to be a whole lot of suspension travel to be had in this race. My name's Reese Gardner. Joining me in the commentary box is Cameron Dance, and Cam, it was a great season of the Pro Truck Showdown over the last set of weeks. But now, this fun event here at Crandon, we've got a nice big field for this one, and it's looking quite competitive. We've got some great potential for big sends tonight.
Certainly do. It's a very, very packed house tonight here at Crandon, so it's going to be very, very interesting, and I'm assuming going to be very, very fun and very exciting tonight in terms of what we're going to see on track in terms of action. So yeah, really, really looking forward to it and seeing who's going to come out on top. And like you said, we've got some very, very interesting names out there, especially some of the accomplished ones as well, the likes of Bo Albert and a few other ones out there as well.
Yes, indeed. Bo Albert, of course, driving for Andretti Autosports in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship and setting some competitive times in the practice session in the 06 machine. We'll see how he goes, though, because these guys are looking at very competitive. His time was actually pipped towards the end of the session. We are in qualifying at the moment. Bo Albert just touring slowly around the circuit to get things set up for his qualifying lap. The drivers only get one lap around here to set their time, and Daniel Stevens in the number 3. He's gotten some interesting results in the Pro Truck Showdown and looking to capitalize here at Crandon as well. A little bit wide through turn 1 and up over the rise at turn 2. Got to be careful of the inside wall there, and then you switch back around for this left-hand hairpin. Get on the throttle as hard as you dare out of there, and you've got a bit of a straight to deal with. Over the crest, a couple of jumps, but you've got to be really careful on the brakes here, because have a look at this, Cam. This hairpin around this tree, incredibly tight, and you can get wiped out there in a race situation.
Certainly, it's a very, very interesting corner, and it's quite deceiving on how tight it actually is. You head in there very, very quick, and you don't actually realize how tight it is until you actually get to the apex of the corner, and then by that point you're usually well and truly wide and have lost all that delta that you've gained in the rest of the lap. So yeah, it's a very, very tight corner, one that's going to provide a lot of passing opportunities for almost everybody at some point in the race, but nevertheless we'll have to wait and see what happens. And like you said, it's going to probably cause some carnage as well with how tight it is and people sending it up the inside. But Daniel Stevens coming through the final section of corners now, so we'll see what he does for a lap time. Comes over one of the jumps and so far is going to be on his way to set a representative lap time.
Looks like it nice and tight through the final corner goes Daniel, and across the line he goes. And that is going to put him P4 for the time being, 122.897, but the fastest time currently belongs to Zach Blanche. 1 minute 21.189 is the time that the drivers need to beat. We've got more drivers out there setting times. Bo Albert, of course, on his lap at the moment, and those are the standings briefly as you see them there. Bo just coming through the final section now. He's only got one more turn to go here, and he's looked pretty smooth on this one so far. We've also got
probably caused some carnage as well with how tight it is.
We haven't usually seen in these machines, as Bo Albert goes P2. 1 minute 21.394 for him. But we have been joined by a certain someone Owen Kelly, former V8 Supercars driver down here in Australia and races NASCAR as well. Looks like he's decided to jump into the sim on iRacing for a bit and have a whirl at this. He sets a 1 minute 25.189, does Owen. So we'll see how he goes there. He's going to be starting a bit far down the order, so he'll have to get his racing boots back on. Michael J. Brennan as well. Another driver that we haven't seen too much of. Through the last couple corners. There's Ryan Mayer, who goes P1, 1 minute 20.968. First driver into the 1 minute 20s in the qualifying session. We've still got quite a few drivers left to set their times, of which Michael Brennan here is one of them, but suffering a couple of issues there on corner exit, not quite getting the rear out and firing it towards the outside of the corner like he wants it to. You see he's really fighting the truck through these last couple of corners. Over the line he goes, though, and Michael Brennan will go up into 8th place thanks to that time. Not a bad run at all.
Not a bad lap at all. And it's very, very close as well in terms of the times across the field at the moment. Dwayne Priest has just gone to P6 as well by the looks of it, but Jamie Davis, one of the last few drivers to be on their qualifying laps. He only just get it in too as the clock's starting to run out. Actually, he won't get it in the end, unfortunately.
Yeah, poor Jamie Davis and Cade Donnelly as well. They're not going to get a time in. It looks like that's 6 drivers in this session that have not been able to get across in time. So this is the way they're going to line up for the first race of the night. 5 laps around Crandon. It's Mayer and Blanche on the front row with Albert and Ryan Jones behind them. Justin Howe and Dwayne Priest on the 3rd row. Of course, Justin Howe and Dwayne Priest, 2 of the stalwart competitors in the Pro Truck Showdown. Aaron Dillon lines up alongside Daniel Stevens, and Michael J. Brennan and Philip Howe round out the top 10.
They have across the page, you can have David Smith followed by Gary Wellman, Damien Westbrook, Dean Williams, and Brian Trees rounding out the top 15. Nathan Allen, Martin Turner, Tim Crowley, Owen Kelly, and Steve Griffiths rounding out the top 20. Then Matthew Hill, Jamie Davis, Oscar Priest, Lance Baton, Max Haved, and Katie Donnelly rounding out the 26 car field.
Here we go then. The Land Rush start here at Crandon. Lining up as the revs rise. The countdown timer for the grid still has a minute to go, so the guys don't want to go too hard on those revs before they get going. But look at this grid. This is a very special start here at Crandon. You actually start the race on the run out of the hairpin. It's a big section here of dirt that allows them to all come together before those opening fast turns. Here we go then. Let's have a look at how things go in the Pro Truck Showdown. We are away. There is the Land Rush. We've got a couple of drivers having trouble there in the back. It looks like this is almost a pile-up already. Got a truck on their roof as they all scatter coming into the first couple of turns. It was Brian Trezise who was put onto his roof. Michael Brennan leading the way as we got a car up and over the wall there. Goodness me, that looked like it was Aaron Dillon who's managed to get himself onto his roof. The rest of the field continues going. Nathan Allen has had a massive smash. He's ended up on the other side of the circuit, but what a start from Michael Brennan. He runs a little bit wide as Ryan Mayer continues to try and pressure him for that first position, but it is all on behind them because Dwayne Priest, Matthew Hill, Philip Howe, Bo Albert, Zach Blanche, all coming together into the last couple of turns. 1 lap almost complete here at Crandon, and everyone's coming together in the final turn. It's an absolute melee down there.
Trucks strewn every which way, and there's cars going upside down as well as a result of all the carnage that's unfolded in that first turn or so. This is absolutely crazy. We didn't expect this sort of start, but it certainly has definitely been one that's had action all over the place.
My goodness, Matthew Hill, after starting in 21st, is now in the lead of this race as we come down to the hairpin for the first time under racing conditions. Hill takes a lot of the inside there. The drivers have to be really careful through here. Bit of a check-up as Dwayne Priest has trouble getting going. It looks like it might be Ryan Jones that has looped it there at the hairpin. No, it's Damian Westbrook. Ryan Jones, I think, also suffering some issues there, having to get going now in 21st position. A lot of drivers coming together at that hairpin, but we're starting to get some space now. We're going to start to see some proper battles. Oh my goodness, Michael Brennan has had a couple of issues. down at the southern end of the circuit. He's lost a few positions out of that one.
It came over the jump a little bit too sideways, and unfortunately actually clipped the inside banking, and as a result got a little bit loose and has fallen back even further than what it was, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait and see how he goes for the remainder of the race. And Daniel Stevens very, very busy at the moment with Dwayne Priest and Justin Howell giving him a bit of an elbows out approach there through the hairpin, but going to be too wide across the line. But he's going to come out ahead of Justin Howell, even with a little bit of contact in the process.
Goodness me. So Dwayne Priest then gets up into 6th as Bo Albert is really pressuring Zach Blanche and Philip Howe here coming into the hairpin. Albert trying to go for the over-under, straighten up the exit, but the opportunity just wasn't there. Now, Zach Blanche has the run on Philip Howe coming into the hairpin. Little bit of a slide as they enter the braking zone, and Blanche backs it in there, bumps Howe out of the way. Bo Albert gives him a bit of a tap too, and oh, there we go. In the background, that is Dwayne Priest up and over onto his roof thanks to contact. He tries to get going again and collects Max Habit.
It's actually kind of straightened him up in the process as well, so a little bit lucky there to end up being hit the way he was, but certainly not ideal for him at all to have lost as many places as he has, and he's dropped just outside the top 10 as a result as well. So he's got a little bit of work to do to try and recover some places, but certainly not the way you hoped the race would have gone for him.
Yeah, certainly not, but up the front, these two guys, Matthew Hill and Ryan Mayer, both fighting hard. They've gapped the rest of the field, and that opening lap melee has really helped them. Hill, though, a bit too hard into the final hairpin. Maya tried going round the outside. That has lost both of them a couple of seconds to the pursuing pack behind. Matthew Hill, starting lap 3, still has the slight gap to Ryan Mayer that he needs. Zach Blanche and Bo Albert chasing in 3rd and 4th as these guys enter the left-hander once again. What a great circuit this Crandon International Raceway is. Love watching vehicles go around here. It is truly an off-road racing venue. As Hill backs it in, runs a little bit wide. Mayer has the tighter line out of the hairpin, but Hill able to get on the throttle a little bit earlier and keeps the position. But my goodness, Dwayne Priest here and Dave Smith fighting with Lance Bainton. And that's too wide behind them between Aaron Dillon and Daniel Stevens. Stevens unable to take advantage, but Dave Smith has been pushed off the circuit. Oh, and he makes contact with Stevens, and they are both off. Managed to get going again, though, but Dave Smith will feel a little bit shafted thanks to that. Ooh, have a look at that.
That was Jamie Davis going around the outside of him in a spectacular fashion and has managed to hold on to the place quite nicely. Oh, him over. Dave Smith having a moment from clipping the inside bank, and he's gone around, unfortunately. So not what he wanted at all, and he's going to drop even further down the order as a result there.
Wow. It's a big shame for Dave as Dwayne Priest continues to try and gap Aaron Dillon and Lance Bainton, who are battling quite hard. That was a truck pulling over there. It looked like it might have been Dean Williams who elected to retire from this one. And Dave Smith has retired from the server. Big shame. Hope to see you back soon, Dave. Zach Blanche and Bo Albert, meanwhile, they continue to chase the top 2 that you see just up there at the top of the screen. And Bo here driving a calm race, starting in 3rd and down a position on where he started, so he'll want to improve on that. But at the moment, he's just taking it easy behind Zach Blanche, trying to stay in the gap. Looks like there's a bit of a move down at the hairpin because Philip Howe going wide and Justin Howe, his son, going through there on the inside on exit. So up into 5th place now is Justin Howe.
Yeah, switchback maneuver there from Justin to get up the inside of Philip as a result of him running wide, but certainly at the front of the field, it's all on as May is still pressuring the back of Hill here, who's doing everything he really needs to currently to hold on to that lead, while Bo Albert sort of dropped back a little bit off the back of Zach Blanche, who just seems to not quite have the pace that he needs to close up to the back of Ryan Mayer.
Yeah, as the final lap has begun. Oh no, that is the number 18 of Jamie Davis with further issues. It looks like a blown engine for him, and that's a very awkward place for that to happen. Oh no, that'd be an unsafe re-entry there. Owen Kelly, who just had a rough race with Ryan Jones, had nowhere to go there. Got to be careful when you're re-entering the circuit like this. So, For our leaders then, Matthew Hill wide again in the hairpin, but that gets him the run out of it. And you saw Zach Blanche there going for the very wide mid-corner to try and get a bit of an advantage here. But Matthew Hill, this will be a dream run for him in the number 22, taking advantage of everything that happened on lap 1. I couldn't even begin to try and pick apart what went on down there. But it's only a couple of corners to go now for Matthew Hill, and he's keeping it nice and smooth over these jumps, over the dips, over the bumps. One more corner to go now after this one. Nice and tight. Another lunge there from Ryan Meyer. But it's not going to work out for him. Down into the final corner goes Matthew Hill. Dean Williams is going to go wide to let him by. And out of the... Oh, careful, Matthew. Careful. Oh, no. Bumped across the line there by Ryan Meyer. Whew. That was almost a shock finish right there. But I guess Matthew Hill can thank his lucky stars that Meyer didn't really have many places to go. So that's Zach Blanche in 3rd, Albert in 4th. And there goes Justin Howe, Michael Brennan, and Philip Howe in 6th and 7th right there. What a race that was, and still got drivers coming across the line to finish. Oh, that was almost contact there. Nope, drivers coming together in the final corner. Cars on their side. It looks like Martin Turner might gain an extra position out of that. And looking no worse for wear either. Gary Wellman will come across the line in 12th, as it seems Owen Kelly has retired from the race. So it looks like Wellman is going to be one of the final drivers to finish on the lead lap. And, well, we've got a lot to dissect from that one. First time I've really seen a Land Rush start at Crandon from the outside, but those are the results. That's how they stack up. Only a 10th between Hill and Meyer at the very end of it, but just goes to show that if you get it right on lap 1, Cam, you can absolutely smash it, because Hill, remember, started outside the top 20 on times.
Yes, certainly. It was a race of just keeping your nose clean and just making sure you ended up finishing and stayed straight, really. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just don't make a mistake and you're going to probably have a very, very good race. And you even saw that with the likes of Lance Baton as well, who ended up getting P9 in the end. But now we're into the B main, and remember, it's a reverse grid, so all those who finished at the front are now starting way down the back.
Indeed, and our pole sitter for this one is going to be Max Havett. He is going to be starting alongside Cade Donnelly, and Dave Smith is going to be starting in 3rd place with Damien Westbrook joining him on the 2nd row. It's Aaron Dillon and Stephen Griffiths in 5th and 6th, with Nathan Allen and Dean Williams 7th and 8th. Owen Kelly's going to start in the top 10 and 9th place alongside Oscar Priest. And unfortunately, we won't have time to go through the entire field because the gridding time is much shorter for this B main. Another Land Rush start getting ready to go. Max Havett is there all the way over on the left-hand side of the formation. But he could very easily lose out on this as the revs rise once again, getting ready to go for the B main here in the Pro Truck Showdown at Crandon. And we are away. And look at them go. It's a great start from Stephen Griffiths. It looks like he's actually gotten the best start out of anyone, but on the grass, he loses out to Oscar Priest, and he moves forward into the lead, does Oscar Priest. Oh, and that's a car into the wall. That was Nathan Allen smashing into the wall, and that is a big spin for him there in the background as they all come over these jumps for the first time. That's Justin Howe almost getting turned by Zach Blanche in midair, and the number 96 of Philip Howe getting crossed up. And it's created a huge melee back here. Bo Albert on the outside of Gary Wellman is going to try around the outside into this corner. Max Havett is smashed through to the outside as Philip Howe now at the front of this pack. No, he's been spun around. Around they go. And that's 5, 6, maybe 7 cars involved in that. I can't even count.
It's at least 6 or so, probably if not 10, all totaling up in that incident, unfortunately. But yeah, what an absolutely crazy start. There's still cars going in various different directions other than the one they should be going in, and that's Nathan Allen ending up getting on top of a truck there. So this has been a little bit of a chaotic start as well.
It It certainly has. Well, it looks like Oscar Priest is the one leading this, as Matthew Hill has managed to make his way all the way back up into 4th place. So, wow. No, that's 2nd place, sorry, for Matthew Hill. And he started right at the back, remember, so he's taken great advantage of that land rush start, those 2 giant rows of machines, and he's going to try up the inside here on Oscar Priest, and he's managed to get it done over the dip, but Priest with the inside line for the hairpin. Can he outbrake? Matthew Hill holding on round the outside, and a bit later on the brakes, backing it into the corner to try and cover off Oscar Priest, and it looks like he is successful. Straightens out on the exit, and that is position secured for now.
An amazing drive by Matthew Hill to go from pretty much dead last all the way up into P1 by the end of an entire lap. So he's done very, very well to take advantage of all the melee and all the chaos that's gone on in front of him and behind him as well. So he's pretty much just needs to do everything that he needs to at this point and just drive away from everybody and run clean and consistent laps.
Yeah, we were looking at Justin Howe and Gary Wellman battling for a second there, but Ryan Jones here past Damian Westbrook, a little bit of understeer through the mid-corner, but that doesn't seem to have hurt him too much. Westbrook, though, could have a big run at him down into the hairpin. Let's see what they do down here, as up the front there, it looks like Ryan Meyer and Lance Bainton coming together, and that is Ryan Meyer in front of Bainton now. Bainton having to really work the wheel over those bumps, as Gary Wellman now trying to defend that 11th place, going into the fastest corner on the circuit here. It's the over-under from Justin Howe, and they're going to be side-by-side across the jump. Howe gives Wellman space, and oh, Wellman just spun himself around in mid-air. Into the wall he goes. That's a big shame for Gary, but it means that Justin Howe has a bit less pressure to deal with there, and Martin Turner also finding the wall too. Here is Zach Blanche, podium sitter in the first race, battling with Ryan Jones. They give each other a big old whack there. Blanche almost getting turned around, as that is the fastest lap for Matthew Hill, 1 minute 21.5, looking quite pacey.
Much looking very, very pacey, nearly on par with what he was doing in practice, so he's got a lot of pace at the moment, does Matthew Hill, but certainly Zach Blanche not looking too bad a shape. He's going to have the advantage over Ryan Jones at the moment. He's having a slight technical issue, but seemed to sort himself out, but he's going to have gained that position off Ryan Jones. Now be on the hunt for Lance Bainton, who's just up the road now.
Indeed, as we look at Dwayne Priest and Ryan Meyer, this is the battle for 4th and 5th, and they're looking quite close. The battle up the front has been stymied somewhat because Philip Howe has been right in the middle of all of it, and he hasn't exactly been quick in letting Oscar Priest go, as that is a potential move there. Up onto the berm goes the 443, and up and over once again. That's going to be a few positions lost for the number 443 of Dwayne Priest, as I see Oscar Priest has now gotten through on Philip Howe, and it looks like Philip Howe actually pulling over and retiring after being a lap down, but either way, that's a big gap now that Matthew Hill holds at the front of this field.
He does, and he's continuing to pull it out as well. 22.9 last time by, compared to a 24.1 from Oscar Priest, which is pretty rapid in terms of the rest of the field. And then you've obviously got a 22.3 from Ryan Meyer, but he's a little bit too far back at this stage to possibly take advantage of it, that gap. But Lance Bainton has now got Zach Blanche all over him at the moment, and Blanche nearly getting on by, but making a little bit of contact. He's going to have the inside for the hairpin up the road, so he's managed to take that one off him very, very easily.
And that move was set up a few corners ago because they were defending, but oh no, that's a problem for Blanche. He's lost all of the momentum right in the middle of the corner, just spun a bit too much, so position straight back then to Lance Bainton, as in the background Ryan Jones going off track in his fight with Dwayne Priest, just letting him go there and going for the over-under once again, trying to get the outside line for this sequence of turns. You'll have a slightly better run across the top of the hill if you manage to hook that up, but Ryan just staying behind Dwayne Priest for the time being, as Damian Westbrook now facing off against Daniel Stevens. There in the number 3, Westbrook just up ahead. And behind we have Justin Howe for Daniel Stevens' perusal. The battle for the top 10. Haven't got long to go in this one, and there's still a lot to play for. It's very easy to make a mistake around this track, as we've seen. Oh, right there.
That's right there with Daniel Stevens and Damien Westbrook, who ran a little bit too wide, did Westbrook, and tried to sort of square the corner off, but got on the power a little bit too much, and then Stevens got pushed into the wall and just now getting flicked as a result, and Brennan and Albert are going to take advantage of that mistake.
Indeed they are. Bo Albert now up into 9th place. Started in 23rd, obviously, and now his next target is going to be Mr. Westbrook. As the battles continue throughout the field. For the lead, it's not quite that exciting, but for everything back, it is absolutely going off. On the exit goes Damien Westbrook and Bo Albert with the inside exit. He could have it here. He's going to take a nice aggressive turn in. They make contact right through the middle of the corner, but Albert just secures it there. Great driving from the both of them over the jumps for the 5th time today. Meanwhile, Ryan Jones and Dwayne Priest are still together, just up ahead of these guys. Jones on the inside for the hairpin. He is not going to go for it this time, but there's some very close racing going on between those two as Damien Westbrook now tries to look for another way through on Bo Albert.
He's trying everything he can to find a way on by, but just can't quite seem to do it. He's going to have 2 more laps to try and do it, but whether he's going to be able to do it, as Albert runs a little bit too shallow on the way into the corner. He cops a massive whack from Westbrook on the way into the corner and went a little bit more deeper than Albert did, but certainly managed to just pull it off and into the wall on the inside. Westbrook go, and he just managed to gather it back up, and he's going to fall back into Michael Brennan, who's starting to catch back up quite nicely at this stage.
Yeah, Michael Brennan has been doing a nice consistent race so far, up into 10th place after starting 23rd on the grid. It seems to be working out nicely for him so far. Side by side again, Zach Blanch and Lance Bainton, and they're going through the circuit's quickest turn right now. Bainton getting the position, as that is another change of 4 position. They make contact over the jump. This battle for 4th place is incredible. Up the inside, the number 7 of Zach Blanch. He's going to have a go for it right here, or is he? Looks like Bainton just covering him off before they got to the corner, and with the slightly wider line, he's able to straighten it up, keep the traction going, and Zach Blanch has very little response to that one. Only 1 lap to go for these guys now. They're about to cross the line. Wide goes Bainton. That's going to allow Blanch back through across the line, but it could be very different in just 1 lap's time. It's Matthew Hill who currently leads. It is on for 2nd because Ryan Meyer has finally managed to catch up to Oscar Priest and give him some help. Let's have a look at what happens down at the hairpin. It's not going to be a big dive bomb spot here. You've got to make sure you get it turned in first. Meyer just over the berm on the inside, hooks it up beautifully, but Oscar Priest with the slightly better exit once again. Matthew Hill all alone out in the front. He's not having any trouble out there right now. But the 2nd place battle continues, and oh my goodness, Ryan Meyer. That was a bad landing for him, losing all of that momentum. Just got the angle a little bit wrong over the jump, and that means Oscar Priest is now safe in 2nd place. But 1 more corner to go now for Matthew M. Hill. He's going a bit slower here, just taking it easy across the line. Doesn't want to mess this up for himself, I think. And away he goes. That's a great win for Matthew Hill. Simply brilliant drive across the line with Oscar Priest in 2nd and Ryan Meyer completing the podium. It's going to be Zach Blanch in 4th place, and Ryan Jones managing to work his way up into 5th. He's managed to take Lance Bainton and Dwayne Priest along the way, with Bo Albert finishing in position number 7.
Yeah, and Westbrook's just going to end up edging out Michael Brennan as well, just across the line. He went a little bit too deep, did Brennan, as a result, didn't quite get the exit that he needed, so that's going to be running out your top 10.
It certainly is, and more drivers coming across the line as we speak, but those are the results there. Matthew Hill and Oscar Priest, your top two, with Dave Smith, Ryan Meyer, your second and third place. Zach Blanche in fourth. Unfortunately, these we're having a bit of trouble displaying the results correctly, but your top five, Matthew Hill, Oscar Priest, Ryan Meyer, Zach Blanche, Ryan Jones. And it's going to be an interesting setup for the final race of the night. It's going to be a 9-lapper to finish things off here at Crandon. We're going to have the expression session for the time being. So we're going to take a little moment now to catch our breaths here on SimSpeed TV. A very quick break here. You're watching the Pro Truck Showdown. It's a season special event at Crandon International Raceway, the 1 Mile Snake.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got rid of the outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God! Big crash! Oh my goodness! Half the field's gonna get involved.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, here we go! Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
You're watching the Pro Truck Showdown special event at Crandon International Raceway. Thanks to our series supporters, Scamander Coffee Mug, Allstate Security Tasmania, and Hot Toddy's Heating Installs. This has been a great event so far, though I must confess we've had a bit of trouble keeping track of everything that's been going on. We're in the expression session right now, the warm-up session before the final race of the night, and we can reveal one little nugget of information about next season, which is going to be broadcast live here on SimSpeed TV. The first round, Cam, is going to be a bit of a blast from the past from the start of the last season. We're going to Silverstone Historic GP for round one, and considering the racing that put on last time, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's fair to say that every time we see this series come up, and it doesn't matter where it goes, it seems to put on a heck of a show. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next season and what sort of competition we're going to have.
Indeed, it's going to be a fun one, but we have to turn our focus now to the final race of the night here for the special event at Crandon. The feature grid is ready to go, and it's going to be based off the finishing order from the previous race. Matthew Hill and Oscar Priest are on the front row with Ryan Meyer and Zach Blanche behind them. Ryan Jones and Lance Bainton, 5th and 6th, with Bo Albert, Dwayne Priest, Damian Westbrook and Michael Brennan rounding out the top 10, as they did in the finishing order for race 1. It's another very short gridding time here, so we can't go through absolutely everyone that's here, but you can see them down the left-hand side of your screen. Those are the names involved in this. And the revs are going to rise very shortly. Something like a 14 or 15 wide start here at Crandon for the Land Rush. Let's see how they go as we're now into the final countdown. The revs rise. Thousands of horsepower ready to go in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Pro 2s. And we are away. Big start from everyone. It looks like a good start initially from Ryan Meyer and Matthew Hill, and it looks like Hill is going to be the one that leads the way into turn 1, as we've already got trucks coming together in the back of the field. That is a huge pile up to start things off. Gary Wellman, along with Brian Trezise, Daniel Stevens, Oscar Priest, and Martin Turner and Stephen Griffiths, all involved in that one as they battle hard for the lead up the front. Matthew Hill under immense pressure now from Bo Albert, who has moved up into second.
Yeah, very, very good start from Matthew Hill to get his way up into a nice, comfortable lane. A very, very good start from Bo Albert as well, who started in P7 on the grid and has made his way into number 2 now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Bo can do from here. But it's all on just behind, and there's a bit of contact going on between the likes of Mayer and the rest of them, and they're all checking up. No one seems to have gone around. They're all seemingly straight at time being, but said that, and around goes Nathan Allen and a few into the wall.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting coming back on there. A couple of drivers having to take avoiding action as Lance Bainton and Tim Crowley have come together coming into turn 1. Not quite sure how that went on, but both of them stuck on the wall, and I don't think they've got much hope of getting out of it. Meanwhile, up the front, coming down into the hairpin for the first time under racing conditions. Bo Albert a bit slow there, forced Zach Blanche to check up, and now that has given the advantage back to Justin Howe, who has now gotten the better exit ever so slightly over the jumps, but once he gets unsettled, it's Zach Blanche's corner once again. So the top 2, Matthew Hill and Bo Albert, breaking away from the rest of these guys. 3rd, 4th and 5th, Blanche, Howe and Mayer, with Michael Brennan starting to catch up to these guys. There's the onboard from Justin Howe, and you really get a view as to what it's like to drive around this place. Got to be super careful there, taking the banking on the outside, and the number 10 goes on through. That's Dwayne Priest there, I think. No, it was Justin Howe who went up the inside, and huge jump over that hill. So there we go. Getting ready, because Ryan Meyer is the one in at the number 10. Should correct myself from just before, but starting to settle into a little bit of a rhythm here for the guys up the front. Down the back, it's still an absolute melee, because Nathan Allen, who we haven't checked in on since he got spun, he's now got a 2-pronged attack from Oscar Priest and Martin Turner, and Priest almost getting bumped around by Turner. The truck, missing its front end is Nathan Allen, and he lets one of them through, but Martin Turner getting a fair whack on his way through there. So both of them up an extra position now. I don't even know where to look, Cam. It looks like there's something going on just about everywhere as Martin Turner continues chasing.
Yeah, it's very, very busy at the moment throughout the field. Like I said, it's really, really hard to keep up with what's going on anywhere. As Nathan Allen continuing to lose a little bit of time to Martin Turner, but it's on up the road just between the likes of Kate Donnelly and Oscar Priest as well, and then you've even got it going on between the likes of Wellman and Priest, so it's all going on throughout this field, and there's just anyone's guess as to where you look.
Yes, indeed. That battle between Dwayne Priest and Gary Wellman was looking quite interesting just before, but it looks like it's calmed down slightly. Bo Albert continuing to chase Matthew Hill over these jumps. There's so much you got to consider when driving around a track like this. You don't just have to worry about turning left and right. You got to go up and down as well as Meyer. That is an awful lot of angle through that turn, but he's lining up the exit here on the number 7 of Zach Blanche. Tried his best anyway, but it looks like around these corners, if you're on the outside, you can keep the truck a little bit straighter, and that gives you better traction.
Yeah, it certainly does, and you're looking for that fresh clay as well, as Meyer has to check up from Blanche getting a little bit too sideways as a result, but they managed to sort themselves out. And then just behind, Justin Howe's gone all crossed up as well, and now Brennan and Jones are all over the back of him, so it's really heating up for these minor positions just outside, or just off the podium at the moment. And now Brennan's going to make it 2 for 1 on Justin Howe and Ryan Jones, and Brennan is Howe's trying to hold it around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. Gets very crossed up over the jump though.
Michael Brennan with a bit of understeer though. That's going to allow Howe another chance through, but a bit of a better exit there for Michael Brennan, and it looks like that might be position secured, but Howe now is looking in his mirrors. Oh, goodness me. Jamie Davis tumbling over, and I think that's at the second last corner. No, doesn't look like it is. Not quite sure where it is. Replay, thanks to our friends at Modem Simulation. Let's see what happened to him. Goodness me. Okay, that looked like it had a couple of extra elements to it there. He tried to get going after an initial crash and just got collected by another truck. That was Martin Turner. who was the unlucky one there. Meanwhile, Michael Brennan still facing off as Ryan Meyer continues chasing. It looks like Justin Howe just managing to squeeze up the inside of Brennan on the exit. Can he lunge up the inside into the hairpin though? Let's see. Brennan is going to go wide here. Howe with a bit of extra angle, bit of extra handbrake, but he comes to a near stop in the middle of the corner. That allows Michael Brennan a better exit and position secured once more for that top 5. Ryan Meyer is off.
Matthew Hill too.
Oh my goodness, that was, wow. What on earth? What on earth happened there? We need to go back and check that, because goodness me, it doesn't look like it was a coming together. Matthew Hill did it by himself. He came into the fastest corner on the circuit, that right-hander, and just went straight for the inside wall. Watch this, bam, around he goes. So now we've got to dissect what went on for Ryan Meyer. There was nothing he could do there. Matthew Hill came to a rest right in front of him. What a shame for those two drivers.
Yes, certainly a very big shame, especially with the lead that Hill had as well, with the way that he was going out. Promotes Bo Albert into a very, very comfortable lead, although not too comfortable because Zach Blanche is not too far behind him, but certainly it was a very, very big shunt there for Ryan Meyer and also Matthew Hill.
Wow, okay, so this race has just been turned on its head at the halfway point. Hill is still in third, miraculously, out of all of that it seems, unless the timing has gone a bit wrong. No, I am correct. It's amazing. I definitely didn't expect Hill to hold on to a podium position out of that, but looks like he has. He's going to come under some pressure from the pursuing pack of Howe, Brennan and Jones that we ride on board with, though. These guys fighting very hard and with mostly clean trucks. Matthew Hill does not have his front body work. A little bit of weight saving, but it's not going to help him too much. You see the suspension travel on Ryan Jones's truck and the amount that he's working the wheel through the air. It all has an influence on the trajectory of your truck.
Yeah, it certainly does, and really does take a pounding to those shocks with the amount of load that they get sent through them over some of those jumps as well. But yeah, I'm very much surprised that Matthew Hill's actually managed to stay on the podium at this stage. I'm actually surprised the truck's not worse for wear with the fact that it was such an impact with the wall and also Ryan Meyer. So he's very, very lucky to get away with it the way he has. But certainly it's all on between Jones and Brennan at the moment. Brennan trying everything he can, but even it's on for the lead is Zach trying to fire it up the inside of Bo Albert, but not quite able to get it done. He's going to try and get a decent exit, which it looks like he's done all right for, but Bo Albert's still going to have the advantage for the time being.
Yeah, this is an interesting battle between the two of them. Albert getting the advantage on the exit there, squaring off the corner from Zach Blanche, but it's not going to work out for him this time round. He's going to have to hope that Albert makes a mistake over one of the jumps, and that is going to be his chance to pounce. These two, a very clean battle so far. I'm really enjoying seeing them hurtle their way around this track. I absolutely love the air they get over that jump. It's a really challenging corner to go through. I couldn't hope to go around Crandon as fast as some of these guys do, but they obviously know their stuff. Another attempt there from Zach Blanche to try and get up the inside of Albert, but Bo is very wise to it. Plenty of rallycross experience for Bo. He goes wide though, and Blanche tries backing it in there, side by side at the apex. Albert crosses the line in the lead once more as they start lap 7. They've only got 3 to go now.
So it's going to be a matter of can Zach Blanche get on by Bo Albert, or will Bo walk away with this win amazingly from P7 on the grid? So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's certainly not going to be it's really going to be a matter of just making sure he doesn't make any mistakes, does Bo? And Zach's really still continuing to apply a lot of pressure here, and it looks like he's going to get up the inside enough, but possibly not quite going to be able to get the power down as a result of just going in a little bit too deep. They're going to be side by side over the humps and on the way into the fastest corner on the circuit, with Bo Albert's going to have the inside for that corner, and as a result it's going to hold on to. He clips the inside wall though, gets very sideways, and as a result Zach is going to send it around the outside over the jump, and he's barely going to hold on to it as a result.
Wow, he's done it, at least for the time being. Zach Blanche with a great move for that first position, and it looks like Albert hasn't been able to respond just yet. He's still got a couple of laps to go, though, so we might see another change for that lead in the last couple of laps. But what a great move from Zach Blanche. The battling behind, well, Matthew Hill has managed to gap Michael Brennan and Ryan Jones for that third place that he miraculously continues to hold, as Zach Blanche continues his pursuit of that win. Michael Brennan holding off against the advances of Ryan Jones here. Jones with a slightly better line coming through the dirt, taking advantage of that slightly moister clay. And through turn 2, got to be careful of the angle through here. Jones switches back over to try and get the run, but Michael Brennan, a little bit of extra power sliding helps him to keep the position for now. Have a look at Justin Howell, who is starting to advance on these guys just behind them. He's right there in the picture. Michael Brennan going wide. That's going to allow him a better exit. He and Jones come together in the middle of the corner, and Brennan with the advantage once again. Justin Howell is going to be licking his lips.
Yeah, he certainly will, as he knows one mistake from either of these drivers, or both of them for that matter, is going to result in an extra 2 positions. So be hoping to try and find a way on by both these drivers. Oh, and getting very wide is Michael over the jump. Jones barely holds onto it as a result. Just now even clipping the inside berm on the way through that corner there, but certainly it's all on between these two at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Jones now going to have to defend from Michael Brennan. They go through the corner. Jones has the inside for the final turn as we have a new leader. It looks like Bo Albert has managed to get back into the race lead now for Andretti Autosport. As down into the final corner, Michael Brennan tries defending against Justin Howell. They're going to be side by side across the line. And that's given a great advantage to Ryan Jones, who now sits in position 4. Brennan bumping Justin Howell back behind. This is not over. It is the final lap for these guys. And Bo Albert retaking the lead on that final lap. That is going to be one of the moves of the race, I think, for Mr. Albert. Got a truck length gap now over Zach Blanche. Might just be all he needs, but he's got another section of jumps to negotiate before he can breathe easy. Over the inside, keeps the momentum up. Don't get too sideways. Keep up the momentum. Zach Blanche managing to do a slightly better job there. Try and stick up the inside of Albert. Here's one chance he can have to go up the inside. Albert backs it in, keeps it nice and straight. A little bit of a tap from Zach Blanche behind. Albert with the narrow exit now. It's only one more corner to go. Can he defend from Zach Blanche? He's going to back it into the corner, but Blanche goes even harder. He's going to go a bit too hard and spin his way towards the apex. Bo Albert takes the victory with Blanche in second. What a battle to finish off the night. Absolutely loved that. Matthew Hill, miraculous third place, and Ryan Jones, it looks like, has lost back out to Michael Brennan.
Or has he? Because it's going to be a drag race, but he's just going to hold
Here we go. Michael Brennan into 4th. What a great way to take the finish there. And a great battle between he and Ryan Jones all the way through. We'll get a quick replay of that one, Cam.
Certainly, they were fighting tooth and nail and fighting all the way to the end of the race there with absolutely nothing in it between the two of them. But I'm going to get a replay here of the move that happened for the change of the lead of this race with Bo Albert and Zach Blanche, and did happen at the final corner as well, and did look like it was a little bit of argy-bargy going on with Bo Albert braking a little bit later and running into the back of Zach Blanche. But you can see there the gap is reasonably large on the way into the into the last corner, and Zach Blanche just getting a little bit too sideways, and as a result, Bo Albert just having to sort of figure out a way to get on by.
Yeah, that was contact with the inside wall there for Zach Blanche, and that's exactly what happens. But taking nothing away from Zach, it was a great move for the lead for him to get by Bo Albert, and he held his station really nicely to finish second at the end of it. So there's your top 3. Albert, Blanche and Hill, with Brennan and Jones completing the top 5. Justin Howe and Dwayne Priest 6th and 7th, with the top 10 rounded out by Oscar Priest, Dean Williams and Max Havert. Wow. Can't believe that, Cam. You got the rest of the field.
You have Mark Turner, Daniel Stevens, Damien Westbrook, Ryan Meyer, Stephen Griffiths, Last Baton, and Cade Donnelly rounding out the 17 cars. Then you have Brian Trees, Jamie Davis, Gary Wellman rounding out the top 20.
Indeed you do, and that is going to be retirement central for Tim Crowley and Nathan Allen, also for Gary Wellman. That's a big shame for them. But that brings to an end proceedings for tonight. I had an absolute ball calling this race, even though we couldn't quite keep track of everything that was going on. It's a bigger field than we've had for many weeks in the Pro Truck Showdown. Hopefully we see just as many cars for the first round of the new season at Silverstone Historic GP in just a couple weeks' time. We're sure to see you there on SimSpeed TV as well, live on YouTube, Facebook, and also on iRacing Live tonight as well. Hello to everyone tuning in around the world. Hope that you've enjoyed the show. From all of us here at SimSpeed TV, it's a big thanks to Allstate Security Tasmania, Hot Toddy's Heating Installations, and Scamander Coffee Mug for their support of this series. I'm Reese Gardner, Jay Kennedy on cameras, and Cameron Dance alongside me in the commentary box. From all of us, it's bye for now, but certainly not forever.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got rid of the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
This is very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, here we go. Oh no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?